Namaste, everybody. Namaste, yogi and yogini, and welcome all of my Rising Sun Yoga students. Thank you once again for being persistent with your practice. I admire your consistency and the love for yourself, and for that, you also will share that love for others. I'm still loving the series of the headstand, and hopefully, you have been practicing with me in the past 2 weeks. If it's not, however, I will continue the series as it should be. And this class, I am going to speak more on getting off the floor safely and effectively. And we'll touch on the foundation just for a little bit. Okay? Ready? Close your eyes, please. And you settle. Settle into this moment deep inside yourself, away from the noise and concerns and worries. I start to see leaves changing colors and prepare themselves for what ahead. And I am so admire its willingness to adjust without hesitation, without resistance. May we allow this wisdom from nature to remind us that adjustments is necessary in life. Things change all the time. What we have earned and owned in this moment, in our next breath, next hour, next day, it may not be what it is. So with that inhalation, when you feel the expansion, may you make room for that change. Make room for yourself to step into the space that is not maybe familiar any longer, with trust, with acceptance. And may the impermanent of life be what you come back to remind yourself over and over again. That is what is a part of being human. We join our hands together with the thumb at our third eyes and the head bowed down to the heart. And let me chant Om 3 times together, please. Take a deep breath in. Exhale fully. Another deep inhale, please. And you bow your head down to your heart. Release your hands. Lift your chin. Open your eyes. Would you please come down onto your back? Let me go get my tea quickly. You there, you just elongate your arms and your legs away from one another. It's always feel good to like give room to our spine, right? Yay. Put the props aside. When you rock your hips side to side, let's start to warming up the back muscles. We just want to take this stiffness out of our body as much as we can and bring in what it needs to get into our headstands effectively. Circle your ankles toward one another. Remember your arm, you can start kind of moving them into wherever that your body needs it. And you can just, change back and forth. Circle your ankle to the opposite direction. We bring the arms and the legs up toward the ceiling and we shake them. Windshield wiper. Feet to the floor. Hip distance apart. Knees bend and drop your knees side to side, please. And maybe massage your face if you feel like it. I always like do that. Any tension that is built up and just stay in the body, we can help ourselves to release it or just use our own body to do that as well. Let's drop the knees to the right. Use your right foot. Aim that left knee further down to the floor if it feels good. Pay attention on your lower back and how much you add from the lateral side of your left leg. Each exhale, soften your ribs down to the floor. You come back center, chin to the other side. Allow anything that's happening right now, be as it is. I feel a little agitated, I have to say so. And I just let myself be in that space and know that now I focus on staying calm and collective, and this type of energy and the chemical of the brain will shift itself. You just have to give it time and space. And just relaxing your jaw. Come back up center. Feet together, knees apart. You drop your knees side to side, lengthening your arms over your head. Now we're opening the hips slightly and opening the space in each spine, in the arms slightly, of course. It's not like really opening, but the stretching is make it feels like it. And carefully bring your knees back up. Let them come to the chest. Circle them away. And then repeat. Other direction, please. Happy baby. Feet up to the sky, knees bend, kick into the feet slightly. Is a hip opening here. Yeah. Hip opening is help to get into the hamstring stretch and adductor stretch deeper. Why? Because those muscles are connected to one another. So, okay. So we need to pretty much open all of them. So let's focus on the left leg first. So you let your right leg go. Now you can straighten your right leg or not is your options. And we are going to kick the left leg to the left. So if this is the time that you need to use the strap, grab it, okay? And place it at the ball of the foot. And then carefully, you aim it. If you can rotate you arching your back. That's what you are doing. Like you're moving your hips away from you, arch your back slightly, and then kick the leg out to the side. So you're gonna feel your lower back arch away off the floor. And then for a little bit, draw your core in and feel your lower back move toward the floor. Your leg will rotate. You're gonna feel your left leg rotate away from you and then rotate back into you, and then you can pull your legs a little bit higher. That will make the stretch of the adductor become more greater. If you are super tight, that might not really happen, and it's okay, and you can just do the kicking, and remember to resist that stretch a little bit so it makes the stretch really stretching. It's not just like you just kick, okay? I know it's early in the morning, it might not feel much, but it's gradually, it will get better. And then we go up toward the sky, then we hit the hamstrings muscles. And this is the crucial muscle that we need to stretch them as much as we can for the kicking up or for to get our leg off the floor in our headstand practice. You can hold the foot, you can hold the thigh, you can hold the calf. Anything work that doesn't make you tie up your jaw at all. Okay. We need the firm arm, but not building the tension. And spreading your left toes, engage your legs muscles. So we stretch the muscles. And then we cross the left leg to the right. With the straight leg or knees bent, your options. Oh, I'm landing on the receiver, so I have to adjust that a little bit. And lengthening your left hip, your left hip sitting bone, you point it away from you, and you're gonna feel that you elongate the spine while you're doing that. And grab your left shoulder down to the floor. The twisting with the elongation of the spine is better than rounding the spine. You can look to your left shoulder if you need to. One more breath. And carefully untwist yourself, and we get the right leg this time. Get your right leg to the right. I'll fix that later. If you want to try that rotation again, I don't know if we can do it with the strap. I actually never do it with that. Let me see. Like you rotate your right leg. You do external rotation, which means your leg is going to rotate away from your trunk. And you're going to feel your butt is moved to the floor, your lower back arches off from the ground. That is I don't know, I feel like I'm opening the muscles and the body part. Like I feel the hip is open, the lower back is also elongate when I do that. And then I draw the core in, feel the lower back move to the floors a little bit, and then I can pull that right leg up more toward my ears, and the stretch feels greater. In Anusara style of yoga, we call that inner spiral and outer spiral. That is the linear that I use to practice all the times. Yeah, I don't get to use these terms so much anymore. Then come up, up, and your hamstrings muscles. Like the first one of the day, to be careful. Give as much as it can take safely. And you can just adjust your body as you go, and when you find that sweet spot that you can hang and stretch, then you stay there, and then you can slowly increase the challenge for the muscle to go deeper. We just want it to be as deep as possible. Wow, yeah, it's tight. And then you let go. Shake your arms and your leg out toward the sky. The maximum that you ask for the muscle should not crooked your alignment. Okay, that is something you have to be mindful of. Let's get into the bridge, please. I have this braid on my hair. I feel like I do the right thing. Now it just prop my head into a space that I don't feel safe. Sorry. I'm sharing those information with you because those little details that you can feel from the body, it's so crucial for you to practice safely. Like the alignment should come first. And I feel like the braid, it just lift my head off the floor a little bit more, and it just doesn't make me align my skull as when it has nothing in the back. Slowly come down to the floor. If I can bob my head, that would be awesome. Drop the knee side to side. Bicycle, let's do it 20 times, please. Hand behind the back of the head. Here we go. Opposite elbow to opposite knee. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And we are going to rock up onto our seated and elongate the spine up. Inhale, and we roll forward. Exhale. And inhale, come up and away from the floor, and we roll back as far as you can. Keep your spine elongated the best you can, and then come up and then roll forward. Keep on going with your breath, please. Remember, go with the elongation of the spine. You don't want to go with the roundness of the spine. Okay? When you stretch the hamstrings muscles. And go as deep as you can. Now do one more each direction, please. Spreading your toe, press your legs down to the floor. Keep it firm. Inhale, come up and away from the floor. Feet together, knees apart. Supta Baddha Konasana. Get into the hips. Yep. Heart lift. Sorry. And then we go legs apart. Upavista Konasana. Yeah. And then you're gonna do a circle plus the stretch. When I say plus the stretch, is that when your body go forward, sometimes like before you do like circle evenly, you can stop a little bit in the front, yeah, and just really intentionally stretch your adductor muscles and then circle, okay. Press your toe, press your leg into the floor, relax your jaw. Yeah, I'm still really feeling this receiver is bucking me. Change direction, please. If you go forward enough, there's also opportunity to take care of your shoulders. Yeah. And your neck and your head. I will find more space for you to really take care of them as well. Side stretch, please. It is QL muscles. Latissimus dorsi. Okay. Who know they can be so tight. Here we go. Stretch. Remember, elongate the spine. Don't do it with your round back, okay? Move your heart up to the sky. Even though you may seem like you are not able to go sideways as much, but it's better to do it a stretch like that. We protect the lower back. Don't want you to hurt yourself while you focus on the stretch. You can have the hand behind the back of the head, of course. Or arms overhead. Let's do one more each direction, please. Inhale, come up center. Now keep your right leg extended. Cross your left leg over. Twist to the left. Inhale, elongate the spine. Exhale, twisting. Hip, keep moving forward. You're going to feel that action much clearer when your chest is resisting. Yeah, I really love this feeling. Like your hip is go forward, your chest is go backward, your spine nice and elongate. This is also really helpful to do the kicking up, to lift your leg off from the floor into the headstand. Inhale and twist. Now bring your right foot close to your left foot close to your right hip. Stack the knee on top of one another and we bow. Inhale, come up and away from the floor. Now we're going to get the left leg out and land it with the knees bent, and then have the weight on the left knee come off the floor, right arms overhead. Hearts open. One more breath here. Remember, grab blocks anytime when you need it, and then you get your trunk off from the floor. Push from your left hand, left arm up, side stretch to the right. You see my right hand was just like in front of my face. Because your right hand, it doesn't really need to do anything. It just have to have a place for it. Okay. Course in. I want you to be comfortable when the pose doesn't look exactly like a posture. Like in the poster. Inhale, come up and away from the floor, and we're facing the right leg. So carefully move forward. Square the hip, lunge stretch. How many times do we stretch the hamstrings already? A lot, isn't it? I am actually feel very ready in terms of the hamstring right now to kick up to the headstand. I mean, my body tells me that, which is a good thing. And I'm trying to get you to get there as best as your body can take you. And inhale, come up and away from the floor. We're going to go forward. Have the weight onto the right foot. Kick the left leg up to the sky. Inhale, opening the hip. And then square the hip. Land your left leg back behind you. Warrior one, come up with the trunk, hip square. And then lunge, exhale. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lunge. And then you work with the breath. Remember, land your arms wherever that allowing your heart to open, and you can draw your shoulder blades back as much as you can. This will prep your headstand foundation effectively. Now, the more you open the heart, the more you have to protect your lower back. The more you curl up and back, the more you have to protect your lower back as well. So how do you protect your lower back? Root your tailbone down, draw your core in. Okay? And exhale, we go down toward the floor. Bring your hands down, kick your right leg back and up, opening the hips, bend the knee, and kick it to the left. Each exhale, elongate that spine up and back, and your chest feel like it's being pushed toward your left foot. Square your shoulder blades toward one another. And then extend that right leg straight. Square the hip, come forward to plank. Inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. And then we move with the breath like that. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog pose. Let's use this warming up the wrist, and also, of course, slowly, gradually working our upper body. And we also stretch our back muscles. Keep moving, please. Two more. And then carefully take child's pose. Come up onto your hands and knees. Sit down. Extend your legs in front of you. Left leg extended, right leg cross. Twist to the right, Marichyasana 3. Inhale, lengthen your spine up. Exhale, twisting. Also, when you are twisting, feel that your lower back is moving back while your heart is moving forward. And those two actions, they have to balance one another, right? The same thing as when you're moving your hip, extending your belly forward while your chest turning backward, you also want those two actions to balance one another. And you feel like you're right in that center between those two actions. It feels really, really good. Heart is open. Inhale, untwist. Then we do stack the knee on top of one another. Walk your right leg as close as the left hip as much as you can. Spread your left toe, elongate the spine forward, and then you go toward that left leg. Grab the strap if you have to use it, okay? Just don't let the depth of my pose, what is the word am I looking for? Intimidated you just because you cannot go as deep. It just doesn't mean anything. You do it because you're loving yourself and really respect your muscles. And I'm doing exactly the same thing with my body. Nothing more. Oh yeah, this side seems tighter. Inhale, come up and away from the floor. Now we get the left leg out. We land the shins down. We come off from the floor, balance on the right knee, and then left arms overhead. Make sure your right hand is on the floor nice and firm. Right? And you inhale. Breathe into the lower back. Exhale, stretch, elongate. At the same time, so inhale, breathe. Exhale, stretch, elongate leg, arms long away from one another. One more breath. And then you push the floor away, balance on that right knee, right arms up. Core is in, exhale, stretch over to the left. Exhale. And one more breath. Come up and away from the stretch, facing forward. Your left leg is already there, and we do the hamstring stretch one more time. Here we go. Spread your left toes. The more you challenge, the more you have to engage the muscles, okay? And when I say the more, don't go beyond the feeling of the balance and you really tense up. I don't want you to go there. No tense, just enough. And inhale, move up and away from the floor. So you drag the left foot in and you can have the weight on it, and you launch forward and you kick your right leg up to the sky. And you elongate the spine all the way out through the crown of your head toward the floor as deep as you can. Then square the hip, land your right leg back. Toe point at 2 o'clock. Come up with your trunk. Warrior one right here. Now, when you hear the name of the pose, use the name of the pose to stretch the body part, okay? To strengthening the body part. And not to worry that you have to look exactly what the warrior one is supposed to look like. Couple more breaths here. Heart open, ribs is in. Hands come down to the floor. Spread your finger, kick your left leg back and up, opening the hips, bend the knee. And then stretch to the right. Remember, we need the shoulder blades to be even. And then extend your left leg, square the hip, come forward to plank, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, dog pose. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Can you have your knees on the floor? Keep moving your head, your chest forward. And we do push up right here with the knees on the floor. 1, 2. Now make sure your elbow move behind, okay? It's bent behind you. 3, 4. Claw the floor with your finger pad. 5 more. 6, 7, 8, 9, and this one we go all the way to the floor. Keep clawing, keep clawing. Keep that shoulder blades onto the back. Now extend your left hand to the left. Turn your chest open to the right. Head on the ground. Other side, please. And carefully roll back onto your belly and your chest. And you are going to pick your first back bend, and we're going to stay here for 5 to 7 breaths. So we use this first back bend as in checking in. And also slowly, gradually kind of warming up, and then get into that back bend action on your shoulder blades, on your chest, on your lower back. Yeah, on that elongate of the spine. check the quality of it, see where we are right now. Right. And then go back to child's pose, please. We're going to move a little bit more now and also a little bit more stronger as well. Inhale, all four. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg off the floor and also lift your right hands off the floor. Sorry. Gradually push your weight back toward your right foot with that left hand. Hold your right foot. If you can, you go slowly if you have to, or not holding your right foot at all. Step your left leg forward. Warrior three. First warrior three. Be mindful how much your body can take. I'm using the block right now. Yeah, spine elongate, warrior two. Yeah, here we go. Reverse warrior. Bring your hands down to the floor. Three-legged dog, left leg kick back and up. Knee to the nose. Round your back, kick it back and up. Inhale. Two more. And you come forward to plank. 3 push-up. 1, 2. Last one to the floor. 3. Back bend here. And down dog or child's pose, please. Now, when you pick the back bend in the floor series, pick the one that you can really get into the heart opening the best you can, because we need that opening for our headstand, okay? Plank, inhale, all 4. Exhale, downward facing dog. Then you lift your right leg off the floor, square the hip, and then get your left arms off the floor slowly. Find the stability. Push your weight back, 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 back. Hold your left foot with your left hand if you can. Stable first. Yeah. And then left hand down, right leg forward. Warrior 3. Hip square. Core is lift. Heart is lift. And extend it. Warrior 2. Let that breath carrying you, just be with it. Hips back, heart lift. Reverse warrior. Hand can hold the back of the head. I love it because I get this stretch really, really deep. And then go down to the floor. Right leg kick back and up. Inhale. Knee to the nose. Exhale. Kick it back and up. 2, 3. And then go up. And then come forward to plank. And 1, 3 more push-up, please. 1. You can lift that right leg or not. It doesn't matter. 2. And 3. Yeah. I'm going to do my cobra and see how it feels like. Yeah. When you really take time to opening the heart, the lower back will feel less. Child's pose, please. Strain. Yep. And breathe. Like before you choose to move fast, you have to make sure that you have room for those muscles to move fast without being hurt. And taking time to stretch the body part is so, so, so important. Come up onto your hands and knees. Now we lift the left leg off the floor, extend it back and up. Right hand extend forward and up. Opening to the side, inhale. And go back. Beneath the belly, inhale. Extend it. 2 more. And then bring your right hand down, step your left leg forward, get your right knees off the floor, twist to the left. Launch forward, balance on your left leg, standing split. Kick your right leg up to the sky, inhale. And try to really get into that standing split the best you can. And then exhale slowly. We step the right leg further back, going to Trikonasana triangle. Yeah, and you grab the prop if you need to. As you can see, I grab the prop right away when I know which, like, if I need it in the pose, I grab it. No question asked. And then right hand down, kick the left leg back and up. Inhale. Left knee to the left armpit, exhale. Kick it back and up. Left knee to the nose. Roll your back up, kick it back and up. Left knee to the right armpit, twist. Kick it back and up. Now we're gonna go to the right again. We're gonna land the left leg to the right on the lateral sides of the foot. Lift your right arm up. Push the weight back toward your right foot. Make sure your heart nice and open and carefully untwist. Kick your left leg up, inhale. Come forward to plank and lower all the way down to the floor. Then have your right hand parallel to the chest. Bend the left knee. Hold the foot with the hands. Stretch the hip flexor. Ekapadaka Mukhasana. I see a little bug. Breathe. Focus on your breath. Be mindful with your bodies always. Forearm plank pose, please. Here we go. That mid-back overall strengthening from front to side to the back is our headstand. Now from here you can go to child pose by, move, like you take the heel toward, get your knees in toward your chest and bring it down to the floor. Toe tucks under, open your knees apart. And then move your weight back toward the heels and breathe. Inhale deeply, exhale, let it go. Inhale, come up onto your hands and knees. Other sides, left leg off the floor, extend it back and up, right hands in front of you. Inhale, opening to the side first. Exhale, center. Beneath the belly, inhale. Exhale, extend it. 2 more. You lift your legs when you go to the side as high as you can. That's the challenge. Extend it. Left hands down, right leg forward. Left knees off the floor. We twist to the right. Broaden the foundation as you go. You adjust without worrying it. And when you have proper foundation, then the rest, when you build it, you can be sure that you will be in the pose safely and more effectively. And exhale, we go toward the floor. Right? And we're standing split. Left leg up, elongate through the spine, down the head, out to the foot. Carefully exhale, land your left leg back behind you. Trikonasana triangle. And when you exhale, you go toward the floor. And hands down, kick your right leg back and up, inhale. Knee to the armpits, exhale. Kick back and up. Get that right knee to the nose, round your back up to the sky. Kick it back and up. And then go to the left armpit. You're twisting while you do plank and then kick it back and up. And then we're gonna land that right foot to the left, lift your left arm up, opening your heart up to the sky. All alongside the ears, opening the heart. And then carefully drag the right foot in, kick it back and up, come forward to plank. Slowly lower down to the floor. And then have your left hand parallel to the chest. Left leg straight, right knees bent. And then we stretch the hip flexor. I know it's really strong practice. You know, sometimes challenge in the physical exercise really calm your mind down away from all the noises so quickly. I love that. So I can come back to myself and ground it into my being. And when that happens, I really feel the connection with others much greater as well. It's such a beauty. Forearm plank pose. You can have your hand interlaced if you want to. No, that is an option, okay? I love to have my forearm parallel to one another. I have been practicing it like this for a while. I also feel like when I get up into dolphin pose, it moves my shoulder blades different than when I interlace my hand together. That's the only reason. And having said that, we're going to go from here to dolphin pose. So you're going to walk your feet in. We really need dolphin because I want a greater heart opening and also a greater hamstring stretch, of course. And this is one of the poses we'll have to ask you to challenge yourself as deep as you can. Remember the exhale, I want your chest to move back toward the feet. You're going to have both knees bend at the same time, or you can paddle the knees, it doesn't matter. Focus on the opening of the heart and then focus on the hamstring stretch. Yeah. Use the pose for that, not just being in the pose and you are not doing any stretch or strengthening at all. And then we take child's pose, please. Come up onto the hands and knees, step your right leg forward, left knee's on the floor, upright with the body. Bend your left knee, hold the foot, square the hip, root your tailbone down, lift your heart up, hip flexor. Stretch, needed. Ribs is in, heart is go up and open. When you feel your tailbone really root downward, and you can draw your ribs in, and you feel like the lower back is moved back, that's when you feel your lower back is releasing the tension. We don't want to arch the lower back intentionally, but we want to arch the upper back intentionally. Okay. And those balancing of those upper opening and lower drawing backward will help balancing the action of the spine and protect itself and opening itself. Standing split once again. Kick your left leg up to the sky. Now we're going to play with the standing split a little bit. If you want to challenge further, get your right hand, hold your right heel, right, and then pull yourself closer. You want to get the balance to be even more challenged, you can start to get your left hand, slowly, of course. You're going to wobble, of course, at first. But that core in the middle back, those muscles are going to slowly, gradually find itself to understand what this balance is supposed to be like and use them. Pyramid pose, square the hip, bow down. And once again, when the muscles are ready and you can find a spot for the body to be there, and it will balance itself. It's just not going to happen overnight, of course. And we just be patient while our body is adapting and adjusting to new way of learning itself. Inhale, lift your chest up and away from your right leg, bend your right knee, step your left leg back further. left elbow outside of your right knee, Parivrtta Parsvakonasana, and you twist with the spine elongated. Okay. Chest is go up, belly is go to the floor. You feel your hip is expanded from one another. And then you untwist, left hand down, Vasisthasana, side plank on your left side, please. Push your weight back toward your left foot. Do that by lifting your hip up higher. Transfer your weight from the wrist down to the foot instead. What do you want to do with your left hand and your left legs? They're yours. You can do whatever you want it as long as you're safe. And from here, we're going to go into pigeon pose. So when you fall toward the floor, get your right leg forward. You see, my left hand is really strong. And then go down. We never let go of the foundation while we move from one pose to the others. When we're on our feet, it doesn't feel much because we're used to that, but when we are on the wrist, we have to be more mindful of transitioning the weight and don't move through them too quickly. Okay? You just go as deep as you can. Hip flexor, sorry. The piriformis muscle, the hip rotator. Inhale, move up and away from the floor. Take a seat onto your right seat. Swing your left leg forward. Cross it over your right leg. Your right leg, bend your knee or straight. And then twist again to the left. This one is called Ardha Matsyendrasana, but you can transfer this pose into Marichyasana 3 again if you want to. If you feel the depth is already greater, you can bind your hand behind the space right here between two legs. Just make sure that it's not a round shoulder, okay? And you have to also make sure that your knee doesn't get pushed so far toward the right side. It should be back to the center. So the elbow and the knee have to work toward one another. Greatly for that. And then you untwist and then carefully extend your right leg straight. Bend your left knee heel to the groin. We go into Janushasana. Let's do that first. So we bow forward. So you move your right hip back, move your chest forward, and then use your hands wisely, however it works with the strap if you have to, and then you just bow down. Inhale, come up and away from the floor. Now, lean onto your right seat. Lift your left leg off the floor, knees bent. And land the foot next to the hip. So this one is Supine Hero pose. If it doesn't work with you, you can just flip and be on your belly and bend your left knee and hold the foot with the hands again, okay? So you're gonna go from here to lie down onto the floor with the left leg knees bent only. If the floor seems too far, remember that you can lie down on the block and make the floor come up a little bit more higher off the floor. Now you have to learn how to land your spine onto the block and you feel comfortable with it, because it's going to be in a space that when the block poke into either side of the spine and it may not feel right. Now make sure that your left knee and your left ankles are not in a severe pain. That is not a good sign. Okay? Yeah. For me, that it doesn't give me much. Of course, when you know that is the case, you just go into the space that you can receive more stretch. Right? Spine elongate at all times. You can also bend your right knees. Actually, make the stretch on the left hip flexors is actually greater. And you just carefully, you let go of the stretch. If you're on the floor, you really have to use your forearms. Try to get the chest to move forward first instead of your neck. And then carefully get yourself out from it. Come onto your hands and knees. Have your knees together. Drop your hips side to side. And we're going to go to the other side. Left leg forward, right knee bend. Come upright with your trunk. Hold the foot hip square, roll your tailbone down, heart lift. Remember, inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, lunge forward. Now you're going to lunge forward with the core still engaged. Okay. You don't want to lead your trunk forward and the foot is left behind. They should go together. If you can move at all, it's not an easy one. And then exhale, we let go and we do the standing split. And this one, we're going to challenge ourselves. However, your challenging is for your body. Now, when you kick your right leg up to the sky, you want to kick it up and also to the right. You don't want to kick it to the left and you throw yourself off from the balance. Okay? It's like a half moon pose. That right foot should not be thrown backward. It should just go up and to the right slightly. And lift that core as much as you can. While you're challenging, maybe get your hands narrower, and that's going to require your core to do more work. Elongate the spine, and we go pyramid pose. Would you please cross your right leg behind the left leg? I'm going to add this cross leg Uttanasana here. You can interlaced the hand behind the back and draw your shoulder blades together and bow down. If you can, this is going to increase the opening of the heart. Right? For our headstand, head hang. If it doesn't work, please don't force it, as I always said that. We can only do so much in one pose, and if you have a tighter body, it's going to take time to opening it. And we have to respect that. For us opening, our muscles over and over again, let's uncross the legs and cross your left leg behind, please. Of course, the chances for us who have like really opening and the strength is already in place to get into the headstand easier. And that has come with time. It's not just one practice. And carefully, you bend the knees, like uncross the legs again. Have your left leg forward. Get your left leg out to the sides and bend the knee and step your right leg back behind you. And then we now can get into our twisting. Right elbow outside of the left knee, hands in prayer. Parivita Pasavakonasana. And then untwist. Right hand down, Vajrasana on your right side. I, in a way, feel like I'm trying to stack kind of one shoulder over on top of one another, and also draw the shoulder blade back, try to opening the heart. Now, hip is moving back slightly. It's a challenging pose. Strong hand. And pigeon, please. The bottom hand, if you're on your wrist, they have to work really extremely strong. So you don't dump the weight onto the wrist itself. When you crawl the floor with your fingers, you actually bring everything else around the wrist to work with the wrist itself to really get into the pose and protect the joint. Yeah? Oh yeah. This side is so much tighter. And inhale, come up and away from the floor. Take a seat onto your left seat. Swing your legs in front of you. Once again, straight your left leg or bend at the knee. Cross your right leg over. And you're twisting to the right. Anything that doesn't feel comfortable, maybe you don't give yourself enough space. And if that's the case, maybe give yourself space and then add the twist after. The struggle should not be too great and you sense that you may hurt yourself. Okay? Yep. And then untwist. Janushirshasana, left leg straight, right knees bent, right hips back, spine nice and elongated. And then you bow down. And inhale, come up and away from the floor. Here we go. Let's talk about headstand. Now, touch up in the foundation just for a little bit. Remember, we want the spine to elongate now. When I say the word spine, now we're talking the majority in the cervical spines in the neck. Okay, it should have a little curve in it. You are not overstretch it to the back and then tuck the chin into the chest so much. Know that you have a Sirsasana, one which you interlate the hands or not, but you create the triangle with your forearms and you put your head there. Sirsasana 2 is a tripod headstand, which means you have your palm on the floor and your head is over the palms and you create triangle that way. In Sirsasana 1, just watch me first. When you do a triangle with your forearms and you place your head down and you get your legs up, know that the chances is, if you look at my hip relative to my shoulders, like in Sirsasana 1, the chance to get the hip over the shoulders are much harder than Sirsasana 2. Just look at my hip relative to my shoulder. You're going to be able to move the hip back relative to the shoulder. As you can see, I already lift my leg off the floor. This is much easier, for sure. And when it's easier, it's also come with instability. Sirsasana 1, your foundation feels so much more stable, so much safer, because you have also the forearm to be a part of your headstand. And that is great, right? So the chance that you're going to fall off from the pose is much greater. And you can even use your forearms somewhat is apart. And you can see I cannot really lift my leg off the floor because of when I have the arms down like that, it's actually automatically my shoulder is going to the round action and I cannot really opening it 100% compared with Sirsasana 2. Okay? Either way, it's not that bad. You just try to go hard opening as best as you can. But in Sirsasana 1, you feel so much more stable, so much grounded, and so much safer. That's why a lot of time when you go into yoga classes, they teach you to do Sirsasana 1 first. However, since when you are not able to get your leg off the floor so much easier than Sirsasana 2, this is Sirsasana 1, and you can see my leg are just not happening. Now, I can shift to Sirsasana 2 just right here. And I know that I'm really saving my neck. Yeah. And then you can see, that my leg come off the floor. So much easier. So you pick what works. In Sirsasana 1, when you are not able to lift the legs off the floor much easier, the chance that you're going to use force to kick your leg up is much greater. And when you have a stronger force, the problem will go back into your foundation, and you have to be mindful about that. You don't want to move your foundation so much when it's already set up. Every step of the way that you get yourself off the floor, you have to bring your attention back down to your neck, okay? Now I'm going to do the Sirsasana 1 first. In the traditional or the majority of the class, normally they ask you to lift your legs up, right? And then you kick up, which is not bad. And I would love to encourage you to really spread that leg as much as you can first and make sure that you just use just a tiny kick to get yourself off the floor and then get up into the headstand, right? That is going to make the coming off from the floor is much safer and of course more effective. And you will be able to feel your core all the way through. You can feel your foundation all the way through, and you just not use the force itself to hurt yourself. Because if you're not have enough opening, when you kick so much, you may actually fall backward, and you don't want to do that. Even though you have the wall, you don't want to get into the habit in the kicking. You want to get into the habit of using your core and know that, oh, my body still needs more opening in the hamstring, more opening in the heart. I'm going to do one more in Sirsasana 2, okay? Like if you're going to do one leg leading, you just like spread as much as you can. This is your hamstring stretch that we want so much. If you stretch so much, and you can see my leg just float off the floor itself. That is one way to go up. It's not my favorite way, but normally people will do it that way. Give it a try, okay? You can do both hands. I'm just going to talk. You can do Sirsasana 1 and give it a try. Do it against the wall. Do Sirsasana 2, do it against the wall. And see the differences even though you're not come off the floor, what the difference between Sirsasana 1 of your practice today compared with Sirsasana 2, compare how much force you have to use in order to go up. What does that mean? See what restricting your pose. I'm not talking about the neck. You need to protect your neck all the way through in your practice. Any questions? I'm just waiting and let you learn, really learn your body. It's not about somebody tell you to do the pose and I'm doing the pose. Everything it nailed down into you get to really know yourself better. What kind of energy you put it into this pose. Like, are you respecting yourself? Are you forcing yourself? Now, if you want to go further, like I love the idea of, bring both legs off on the floor at the same time because the chances of kicking is 0 and it's better. But of course, if you're tight, the chance that you're going to come off the floor is going to be so much longer. And it's a work against your ego. That's it. The more we can get rid of the ego, you cannot ever get rid. The more you can work with your ego and let the ego know that I don't want to live my life with just ego myself into it. I'm just going to respect myself into it. That will be much better. Watch me one more time. Now, if you do the way I love to do, right? I'm going to do Sirsasana 1 first. So I go in with 2 feet and open my legs apart. And you can see this one is not going to be easy. I plug my armpit in, my neck is half curved, and use a little force to come off the floor, and I'm there. And then you can see I just don't care where my legs are yet. As I'm floating, I'm good. And then carefully, right, I'm building the pose gradually and find my core all the way and build the foundation all the way up to the toes. And then you come down with both legs or 2 legs now going up into Sirsasana 2. And once again, this is going to be much easier. I have more room to move my hip relative to my shoulder backward. And then my leg come off the floor just like that. Shoulder base back. And I can adjust the hand even if I feel like now when I shift more backward, my arm is not at the right place. And when I get the legs up, I plug my head down. Find the curve in the neck all the way through. Try to stack the leg as far up and as straight as possible. Whatever it feels right, it's good. And then come down. Give it a try, please. Now, if you have enough, stop and just get yourself slowly into your Shavasana. You can get into your back and or you can come down and work your shoulder, roll it up and back. When your neck muscles are not strong yet, like every muscle, when they're weak, they can only do so much. You need to build the strength in order to be able to do and work that muscle much longer. Right? So don't overdo it. And when you finish with your headstand, just get yourself out, see which part of the muscle need to be taken care of. I can feel there's a lot of tension built here. You can stand up, swing the body side to side, roll the shoulder up and back, or you can just go down onto the back and take care of yourself. Now, no matter where you are when you're done, decompress the part of the muscle that carry your weight, and then you can come down onto the floor. Oh, I just realized I forgot to do Ekapada Virasana on the right leg. Am I right? Should not. Since I remember. So the one that this time you're going to bend your right knee and have your left leg straight. Or you can be on your back and bend your right knee and hold it. If you can do Supta Virasana in itself, it's a relaxing pose. Of course, when the muscles is open and you actually into the space of Shavasana in itself. I'm sorry, everybody, that I forget it. Didn't mean to do that, of course. And then you carefully, come out of the pose safely, and be on your back. Hug both knees to your chest, drop it to the right, left shoulder grounded. Easy lying down, twisting pose right here. Let the ribs go, let the legs become heavy. If you have your right hand over your left leg, it's going to even make that grounding sensation feel much greater. If it's okay for your body. Let's go over your jaw. Just know that the skills that you have implemented and learned today is what's going to propel you for the future. And your consistent practice is not one-time things. It's a lifestyle. Come up center. Other side, please. It's a choice that you choose. Any choice that you choose, anything that you choose to do, nail down to, am I doing it because I respect myself, because I love myself, because I care for my happiness and peace? And that we transfer to others. Come back up center. Put the block underneath the hips, the sacrum, and extend your legs up to the sky, please. And know that you always have the choice to adjust and adapt again and again and again. This journey of practicing, of loving yourself, is a lifetime practice. Shavasana.